Hello, hello, hi Internet. Welcome to the Troyan YouTube channel. It is Thin Lizzy Thursday, and this week it is the randomly chosen song chosen by the random number generator. So every 2 weeks we have the audience vote, and last week was a nail biter, very close one, but Johnny barely won the fan vote. So make sure you're subscribed, hitting that bell icon so you never miss the poll. But this is the one where the computer decides our fate. I have no idea what we're listening to today. So I'm going to fire up that random number generator, see what song we're going to get, and hopefully it's a good one, or hopefully it's a really bad one, because at least that'll be something interesting. But man, if we get something mediocre, that'll be the worst. So let's see what we get. All right, yeah, color me shocked, folks. Oh man, so this is there are going to be allegations of shenanigans, and honestly, if I wasn't the one running this channel, I would call shenanigans on this. Um, so the song that came in second place last week, barely lost, the Holy War, is the song that the computer actually chose for this week. Because when I because everything is assigned a number in the random number generator of the remaining songs that exist. And then as I delete a song from the spreadsheet, the numbers adjust. So anyway, the number that came up in the random number generator was 69. So I was like, nice. And but then when I looked up what number 69 was in the spreadsheet, it was freaking the Holy War. So for those who were bummed that the Holy War didn't win, this is not rigged. The shock on my face was genuine. Oh man, so yeah, so this is off the final Thin Lizzy album, off of 1983's Thunder and Lightning. I think, spoilers, it's a phenomenal song. It's one of my most listened to Lizzy songs. It's like a pretty consistent rotation. Um, this was a song that, when I was working on a novel years ago, this was a song that really caught me in the headspace of one of the characters I was writing. Um, obviously, this became that character's sort of unofficial theme song for me. So I'm definitely down with this track. And so the trick will be, how high it ends up ranking, as my computer very slowly loads this piece. So as that is loading, should I just go into the lyrics beforehand to save us time? Because this is aggressively slow. So sorry about that. Um, yeah, let's read the lyrics beforehand off the Genius, so then I can just comment more on the musicality. Oh wait, yeah, is it loaded? Kinda. Okay, so, ooh, and there's actual citations on this Genius page. Okay, so, if you will adore me, bow before me and praise my name. If you place no God before me, then all I have is yours to claim. And we're doing this, reading the lyrics first because, I did not have this song prepared, and the computer's loading slow. So that is the excitement of the unscripted reactions where I don't know what I'm going to get at all. So if you will adore me, bow before me and praise my name. If you place no God before me, then all I have is yours to claim. And if God is in the heavens, why did God let children die? If you don't ask these questions, there is no reason why. And so the citation says it's questioning the motivations of religious leaders and the reality of any religious faith. It questions these omniscient beings and why they would allow such malicious acts to occur. I mean, yeah, obviously. Um, yeah, I'm not going to do the citations. The song is actually loaded, so yeah, we'll just go through the lyrics of the song like we normally do. So let's get the Holy War started by Thin Lizzy. Yeah, so starting off with like a great like pulsating bass line, really really awesome. It's a very, fill line it kind of bass line. But then you have like more of like a Iron Maiden kind of lead guitar line mixed with that fill line it very like distinctive fill line it rhythm. And there's my old bassist in like my first high school band, he said that Iron Maiden was basically take the galloping bass lines of Alice Cooper, but with the thin within the but add in the harmony guitars of Thin Lizzy, and that you get Iron Maiden. And I think this is interesting in that you do hear what Maiden would sound like without the Alice Cooper galloping bass lines. And, Lizzy tackling this kind of material is definitely very interesting, but I think it's very good. The song is very atmospheric. It gives you a vibe, man. And the vibe is just very very sinister, and like what I have gotten is about the sort of the seduction that religion can offer the masses, in which people can use religion to manipulate. And if you're looking at this piece, uh the first set of lyrics, which we'll get to in the song. If you adore me, bow before me and praise my name. If you place no God before me, then all I have is yours to claim. There's people who have heard the song and interpreted it as like this is Satan trying to seduce people by making arguments against God. But also, these are kind of fair questions. If God is in the heavens, why did God let children die? If you don't ask these questions, there is no reason why. You know, there is that sort of eternal debate. If you believe that God is all powerful, then God is not all good. But if God is all good, then he can't be all powerful. It's contradictory. Um, and I think that if you believe in the divine plan, the sheer amount of like genocide and suffering and mass murder and heartache that humanity suffers and all living creatures suffer makes you think that a god would not be a benevolent god if this amount of like destruction is allowed to happen. And you can say, okay, well, that is man kind enacting that upon itself. Like, men are murdering other men, and so that's the free will of men. You could argue that as seeing like it's not God who's doing these terrible things, it is mankind doing that to each other, and that mankind is evil. But humans die from things that are not simply just men harming other men. There is disease, there is famine, there is natural disasters. There are innocent children who die in hurricanes, who have done, no fault of their own, and who, let's say you're taking the hard Judeo Christian view of, oh, good Christians, they'll be saved by God. People of my faith will be saved by God. If you have, good Judeo Christian children in, Puerto Rico, go to church every Sunday, pray, good kids, and then get killed by the hurricane, um, what kind of God is that? And I think it is a very fair question to ask. Um, so yeah, that's where we're starting at with the song. So let's continue onward.
If you will adore me, bow before me, and praise my name. If you place no God before me, then all I have is yours to claim. And if God is in the heavens, why did God let children die? If you don't ask these questions, there is no reasons why. We are chosen, we are one, we are frightened of no one, and no one will win this war. This is the way, this is the law. All the visions shown before you, all the kingdoms and the throne, all are yours if you bow before me and adore me. All this you can own. There are those that will go to heaven. There are those that will never win. No one knows what will happen. There are those that turn to sin. We are chosen, we are one, we are frightened of no one, and no one will win this war. This is the way, this is the law.
Yeah, freaking great. So, I realized I didn't pause at a good point earlier, and then just had to let it play out. But it was so good that like I was just vibing. That's why I didn't pause at the point I should have because I was vibing with the song so much. So the chorus: "We are chosen, we are one, we are frightened of no one, and no one will win this war. This is the way, this is the law." That is the chorus. It is very unsettling, both in terms of the lyric, um, and also like the musicality behind it. Just that very like pulsing minor key riff, and then the harmonies chosen are just like very like uncomfortable, like a little bit dissonant, focused like more on the lower register, and just building this sense of unease and just like not really trusting the messenger, which is, I think, what the idea is. Because with this piece, one can argue that there have been arguments that this song is from the perspective of Satan or a false prophet, and so you definitely want to have like that little bit of just like he's got a little bit of a point, and so you're listening because like what it's saying makes sense, but you're still not supposed to completely trust it, because I think that's the way that really great manipulation works. That there's like a kernel of truth, and then they take that kernel of truth and twist it to get you believing something else. So I think it's very very clever musically. Just that sense of unease that is built. And then we get into the next verse. All the visions shown before you, all the kingdoms and the thrones, all are yours if you bow before me and adore me. All this you can own. And the way that's worded, that could very easily be either God or Satan, because God is saying, worship no other than me and I will give you anything. But that is also that same promise that Satan gives. Both are offering you, God offers you the eternal salvation in heaven, and Satan offers you, all of your heart's desires. But like they both have that same worship no other than me mentality, which that's a whole can of worms. Once again, this is great lyrics to sink your teeth into. There are those that will go to heaven. There are those that will never win. No one knows what will happen. There are those that turn to sin. So once again, great lyrics digging into the theme. And yeah, let's get back to the song. And let's just say it right here, one of the finest solos in the Thin Lizzy catalog. I mean, this is perfection. It's just I mean, the riff for the song is one of the best Thin Lizzy riffs. That solo, one of the best Thin Lizzy solos. Obviously, John Sykes era, fan freaking tastic. He only did one album, studio album with Lizzy, but boy oh boy did he leave a mark. It's just, it's great. All you, oh man, original lineup only people, or oh man, this album just, they really just weren't being creative and just lost that fire. Like what? I'm sorry. This is like some of the best stuff they've ever done. It is them evolving with the times, doing something different. Um, because this at this point, like bands like Maiden and such were their peers. But I think it's fresh, it's competitive, it still has the very thoughtful lyrics of Lizzy. It still has that Thin Lizzy pulse of that Downing line, its rhythm section. But it's definitely it's something different. But it's like it's a great evolution. I think this is a resounding success. And just rewind a hair.
We are chosen, we are one, we are fighting of no one, and no one will win this war. This is the way, this is the law. We are chosen. The devil is in hell with the demons. This is the holy war. They'll lead us to our temptation. Lead us, take our souls. There is no evil in salvation. There is evil in us all.
All right, so taking a look at these lyrics. The devil is in hell with the demons. This is the holy war. Interesting phrase, holy war, because, in the context of this piece, it is specifically seems to be about, Jesus v. Satan, Dawn of Justice. But, it is, Jesus and Satan is sort of the battle, God and Satan, etc. But holy wars in most contexts, like I as a historian like think back to the Crusades. I think of just like Christians and Muslims just like freaking going at it for territory. Like that is where I think of in holy war in general. And so to frame it in this context, I think that like that's I don't think you can escape that like connotation, like deep down in the piece that is like sort of lingers and hovers over this piece like a shadow. But yeah, so the devil is in hell with the demons. This is the holy war. They'll lead us to our temptation, lead us take our souls. There is no evil in salvation. There's evil in us all, which is again that sort of like contradiction. Um, and so like you can't fully trust the message. Great stuff.
Just as Satan tempted Jesus, and Jesus slips and falls. He has a station on the cross now. He is dying to save us all.
All right, just as Satan tempted Jesus and Jesus slips and falls, he is a station on the cross now. He is dying to save us all. This is the most blatant like Phil's Catholicism coming out. This is, the psalm that Stryper could cover of the Thin Lizzy songs. This is the most blatantly like Christian rock little stanza in this piece. And I think the message is very clear of like what Phil's perspective is like, nah man, Jesus definitely the good guy. So as much like nuance and layers as the rest of the piece might have, this is sort of the most blatant like, nah dude, Jesus is the good guy, he is the Messiah, he is the savior. I am a good Catholic boy, this is what I believe. So as the song sort of like tackles a lot of like interesting questions about religion and theology and the greater place of God in our universe. It ultimately comes down to like that is sort of like the core of like what Phil believes, and there's a part of me that wonders like the complete truth of that because I think Phil is a very thoughtful guy, and I think to do that to have this piece in the song is almost like to make this declarative statement. It almost feels like he maybe wants it to be true, but maybe doesn't really believe it. It's but also maybe that's like my biases coming into the piece. But as like thoughtful and as reflective as Phil is, I feel like with these kind of questions, there's almost no, this is sort of a landmine, possibly in the comments, but like the definitiveness of the conclusion, given how like questioning and thoughtful Phil is, I feel like because it is so difficult to come to that conclusion, I wonder if he actually really came to that or if he just wanted to come to that conclusion and wrote that as the conclusion that he wanted to be rather than maybe what he actually thought it was or had actually like reached that himself. Um, that is just what I wonder about that. Most of the rest of the song is just vamping on the chorus, and then but then we get a line later that says, "If God is in heaven, won't you save me now? Oh Lord, forgive them for what they've done, lost children of Babylon. Oh Allah, oh no no, this is the holy war." So referencing again the Islamic Christian holy wars, so that vamp is in there. So definitely a very interesting piece, very thoughtful piece, but honestly, the the most interesting stanzas still actually probably the just as Satan tempted Jesus and Jesus slips and falls. He is a station on the cross now. He is dying to save us all. That stanza in particular is so interesting because it is so like simplistic in comparison to the rest. But it does offer the line and Jesus slips and falls. And so the implication of slipping and falling is not just okay, he's, you know, carrying the cross and like slipped and fallen like physically, but I think to imply that Jesus slipped and fall, to imply a spiritual slip and fall is to imply the imperfection of Christ, which is interesting coming from a Catholic who would have to consider Jesus to be perfect. And so, in this song, which is maybe questioning the imperfections of God, is it also questioning the imperfections of Jesus? So perhaps that line, that stanza, which I thought was so simple, is actually more nuanced than I gave it credit for because he is still believing in the concept of the messianic figure dying to save all of them, but it is implying that he slipped and fell along the way. And what is that slipping and falling? Um, so yeah, just standard boring bro cock rock hair metal.
We are chosen, oh, chosen. We are one. We are frightened of God is the one who said and no.
Ah man, such a good vocal.
We are chosen, oh, chosen. We are one. We are frightened of God is the one who said and no one will win this war. This is the way. This is.
I mean that was just a classic Philism. That's a classic Phil Lynott, like kinda crying, emotional vocal line, just freaking great.
We are chosen. We are one. We are frightened. Lost children forever long. And no one will win this war. This is the way. This is the law. We are chosen. We are one. We are frightened of no one. And no one will win this war. This is the way. This is the law. We are chosen. We are one. We are frightened of no one. And no one will win this war. This is the way. This is the law.
Yeah, this is excellent. What an excellent, excellent, excellent song. I mean, wow. It's freaking great. Um, Thank you, computer overlords, for giving us this song right after Johnny, back to back. Hashtag not rigged. That is, I mean, whew, what a what a freaking great choice. Oh yeah, and I didn't properly credit the random numjader music this week, but that was Mog Garden by Nayoshi Mitsuda, I think. I am actually probably butchering that. What is that in my history? I want to give the composer proper credit. Um, Nayoshi Mizuda. Sorry. Um, so Mog Resort. Want to get that right? That was a nice, relaxing little instrumental piece. But yeah, freaking the Holy War. Um, you know what? Let's just rank it. Let's just do it. Let us just figure out where we're putting this. Um, yeah, it's better than Johnny. Um, yeah, so this is gonna be quadruple S, but where in quadruple S? Yeah. Um, it's gonna go right here, just just below. Got to give it up. Um, I mean, this is fantastic. It is just a freaking fantastic song. Um, I'm sure that Dreamsketcher will still say it's too manic, and there's no melody, which I think there is a very strong, obvious melody line in this piece. um, uh, I think it is metal, but not. I think it is metal, but not manic. I think everything is working well together. It's flashy, but it comes together very cohesively. Michael, I already know I mean, he freaking loves Holy War. I freaking love Holy War. Um, and that is, sort of an interesting twist. The song that did not win the poll ranked higher in the Greg ranking. But definitely interested to see, which one you guys think is the better song, The Holy War or Johnny. Um, Ultimately, I think The Holy War is better. I think Johnny, as much as I love it, does not necessarily have that super strong melodic chorus, which not every song needs to have. And Johnny instead has just like really cool drum fills. Um, but I think this chorus and just like the vibes, man, the vibes you get from this one, you know what? Mwah. Chef's kiss, magnifique. Um, I don't have any real complaints with this one. I think this is just an excellent, excellent song. Um, played brilliantly, written brilliantly, very thought provoking. Like it's the kind of song where just like you can vibe out to this when you can listen to like this song on repeat for like an hour and just vibe with it and get sucked into it. Um, so yeah, it's just so many different layers to this one. I really, really think it's excellent. And thank you guys for listening to me talk about the Holy War for almost 30 minutes. Um, but there's a lot to say. So stick around. Next week is going to be the audience vote, so that means you guys will pick what we do in the poll. And I have no idea what that's going to be, but hopefully we've got some really good options for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to reading the comments down below. Um, this one's probably going to be a little bit more of a loaded one because people get very, very touchy about religion and especially critiques of religion. So people are just like, man, I am cool with criticizing every other religion except my own because my own is perfect and all the other religions are fake and BS. Um, which that is a very healthy way to view the world. That lack of skepticism. Um, Yeah, anyway. But yeah, that's the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully the comments are civil. Yep, that's the video. Bye, everyone.